Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Long time no vlog. Yeah, I'm not going to go into a whole I've not been vlogging or whatever because of this or that and making excuses. Yes, life has happened and it's just not been a priority. So we've had a lot going on with the house and other things, work changes, which some of you have probably seen on my Instagram. But yeah, I wanted to just get back on camera and give it a go. No pressure. So I'm trying, and because I've sort of been a little bit more outgoing in regards to my OCD lately, I want to give myself a challenge of picking up the camera, talking, and then not overthinking it, especially in the post kind of production phase. I've just got to accept that not everything's going to be perfect. And actually, God, it's very windy out here. Another reason I came outside actually is to test. I got some new mic minis, so I'm just testing the sort of noise cancellation on them. Anyway, that being said, with the OCD, I did start planning to do this around 11 o'clock this morning. It's now about 3:30, coming up to 4 o'clock. So yeah, I'm not really any further forward, but I've just picked it up. And apparently that's what people like as well. Coming away from the sort of perfectly edited videos, even with having better cameras than myself. I have a Canon camera, just spent a lot of money on and a lot of time learning how to use, but it's quite big and bulky. And it's, when you want to sort of do the kind of run and gun and just take people on your daily routines or to the gym, sometimes you can feel a little bit intrusive into other people's lives. And I know, especially as I say, talking about my OCD, for me, I'm very conscious of that. And sort of overthink everything. So I was hoping that by using this smaller camera, that would just encourage me to pick it up and go. I actually won, so this is the DJI Osmo Action 4, which I won in the gym competition. So thank you, Elevate. So Jace, this is me picking up the camera, talking, and just filming. If you're watching. So very, very grateful for that. It's actually a really, really good camera. Really impressed with the settings, just sort of as a default, really. The auto exposure is really good. The sound quality actually in the camera was surprisingly impressive, although I have just invested in these Mic Mini 2s, which had a lot of good reviews, so we'll soon see in post-production how that sounds. Knowing my luck, you probably won't hear a word of this, but it's a particularly sort of windy, it's a beautiful day, but it's particularly windy. So I thought I would put them through the test and see what the noise cancellation's like. But yeah, not much to report really. We just sort of had quite a few requests to bring back the YouTube and bring back the vlogging. To give more of an insight into what I'm doing at the moment. So thank you to those two very loyal fans. But yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to being a bit sort of creative with it again, because it's actually something I really enjoyed, and I love the sort of post-production phase as well. Although I can get very, very caught up in it. If I'm able to control it, it's actually quite therapeutic. I do really enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully be seeing a bit more of me. And it'll just be a mix of everything, whether it's training, more kind of educational stuff, talking about different topics, what's going on with the business, all those sorts of things, the house. But generally, I think people just, I do anyway, when I'm watching people on YouTube, I like just having, being the fly on the wall and having an insight into people's lives. It's really weird, I'm sort of, if I'm in a coffee shop, I'm people watching, so I guess it's a similar sort of thing. So I'm not going to, my plan is, I'm not going to try too hard. I'm just going to pick up the camera and just see what happens. Yeah, so I hope that you find it somewhat interesting and not completely boring. As we go on, I'll give you a few updates of actually where we're at with the house, because I know, in a couple of the other vlogs that we were doing, we were sort of at certain stages. So we've had a few things done since then. New roof. We've done the garden ourselves with turfing it and everything. So there's quite a bit to see. So yeah, we'll show you a lot of that either in this vlog or later vlogs or whatever. But yeah, off to train now at Elevate in Bidford. Absolutely amazing gym. We've been going to this gym now for 4 months, maybe a bit longer, something like that, 4 to 5 months. And I have to say, this is the first time in a long time where that passion and that drive for training has fully 100% come back. The training's always been there, and don't get me wrong, I've always enjoyed it, but I've gone through kind of ups and downs with different things and not been able to give it as much attention as I'd like. So yeah, absolutely wicked gym. We'll take you around a session. We're going to train upper today. It does always seem like I'm training upper in these vlogs. I don't know why. I do train legs, honestly. So I will show you a leg session at some point. Probably because of the injuries. I think at the time I was vlogging, I picked up a couple of injuries, not only my back, but also my knee. But yeah, anyway, excuses gone. Talking shit again. But yeah, today we are training upper. So we'll take you around a session and show you what we're doing. See you in a bit. So, just on the way to the gym. We're actually really lucky because we are a straight run down the dual carriageway, the A46, and it's about 10 minutes away. So ideal for us. We were going to JP's gym before, which, don't get me wrong, absolutely awesome gym, but just found it difficult to always get there. As I said, life's been a bit crazy at the moment, and we're having long days, and then by the time we finally get to go to the gym, we sort of found that we were rushing our food and stuff a bit. So yeah, this is a lot easier, sort of 20 minutes closer. I was going to show you what pre-workouts we're using. At the moment, I'm using Illegal Nutrition, which is a stim, and I sort of do half a scoop of that and half a scoop of JP's Pumpage, which also very, very good pre-workout. This is another thing I won in the competition. So Elevate, you're basically sponsoring the video at this point, but really, really nice tasting pre-workout. It's cola flavor and tastes really, really nice. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Literally, since we've been using it, all our numbers are flying up. Coincidence? I don't know. But I find that I don't get any weird crash off it. I am really sort of focused in my sessions. So yeah, highly rate it. If you haven't tried it already, give it a go. The Mecca. Let's not film the code. So, straight into it. We are starting with a straight arm pull down, which I use as a bit of a primer before I go into my sort of main compound exercise, which is going to be a prime lat pull down. So it's a bit of a priming movement, potentiation movement. I don't go to complete failure. Try to get a full range. I don't believe just in working the shortened range. Get the blood flowing, but often keep with this first exercise just maybe a couple of reps in reserve, and I'm going sort of for a moderate intensity. A little tip with a pull down such as this, what you're not trying to do is pull back so that the elbow comes past the back. What you're trying to do is pull down, so elbows, you've probably heard it before, but elbows into back pocket. Allow the lat to fully extend and contract, so take it through a full range. You can have some movement at the hips, but try and keep it minimal. There should be no body weight momentum putting that weight down. So, I don't know if you can see me properly there. In that last clip, what I was trying to say was, in that lat pull down position, rather than coming back, what we're trying to do is bring it down into the back pocket. So at the top here, we want to fully extend. So there's going to be some protraction at the shoulder. We can't eliminate that. I think if we're just sort of coming to here, you're actually reducing that part of the movement that allows you to sort of fully open up. So to work the lat in the full range, you come from the top and pull right down, but not back, because then we're sort of into a row position. And when I was talking about extending too much of the hips, what I mean is extending here. So flexion and extension. So again, what I do see sometimes is where people tend to load the weight heavier than what they can manage, is that we use the body as momentum and the body weight to bring that weight down. So what you're actually doing by extending, because if you're holding on, if you've got an extended arm, you're holding on to the bars, and then you extend at the body, you see the weight come up, right? So half of that movement is purely from hip extension before you even engage the lat. So what we want to try and focus on, again, like I said, there's going to be some natural movement there. We want to try and keep that locked in. So full extension, pull down with minimal extension at the hip, and a slight pause either end so we're not using any momentum. Also, these are addictive. Jason, you need to stop stocking them because they're very tasty. Our sessions started a little bit later than we thought, so I needed a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a carb drink, and I haven't got any interest today, but yeah, they taste amazing.
Look, tell a man no trouble, I don't want beef, man, I just want vibes. Big man like me, no need for the telephone hype. I got too much getting online. One rule, then dead I'm on site. Wrong move, I bet they gon' ride. No need for the telephone hype, nah. No need for the snoozing. Big whip outside, I'm cruising. Big stick inside, no losing. Better watch out for the snake and Judas is. Don't ask them who this is. I bet they know what I'm doing.
One more. Oh, shit.
How you hating my vibes? Why you wasting my time? Getting hype on my line. Tell a man I don't want feedback, I just want relax. Brand new whip, two-tone, I need that brand new hit. You know, like lean back, brand new bits I live in. We pack, man, you never gon' like us. Get them on sight now, let them on light. That way they know I'm righteous. Look at my life, I'm living alright. I'm nice, you know I'm alright. Cause looking like Christ, no need for the hype or fight or telephone vipers. No need for the telephone vipers.
So we're doing, I tend to do one warm-up set on each exercise. Obviously, if you've already been training muscle groups that are kind of fully warm and you've been taken through a full range, it's not as necessary, but again, it all depends on intensity. So higher intensities generally are going to require more warm-up. You've seen the last exercises as well. We've done 3 back exercises. So the first one was straight arm pull down, and then I tend to do a vertical pull, so a pull down, and then a horizontal, so the T-bar. And I'm sort of alternating each session. So on the next upper, I just alternate what exercises I'm doing. So the horizontal will tend to be sort of more upper back, rear, rhomboids, bit of traps, all those, sort of upper back muscles. And then we tend to do a lower row on the other day, still with a vertical pull as well. And then, move on to chest and shoulders, and then a bit of arms at the end. I'm good for a spot as well. shit, with the rep down. Been a rep or two down on everything today. Sometimes that happens. Haven't got as much food in, haven't got as much water. Performance anxiety, filming. But yeah, sometimes it happens. We've just had a particularly chaotic day, really. But it's fine. I'd much rather still get the training done, even if it's a little bit subpar, because I know I'll pick it up in the next session. And generally speaking, the important thing is that you're being consistent. And I sort of put a post or a story up about that, is that obviously you need to distinguish between when you're completely fatigued and you need to listen to your body, but also when you've been a bit lazy and you actually just need to give yourself a talking to and get in the gym. But yeah, one of those things. I absolutely love this Nautilus vertical press. You would naturally sort of come in, especially like a dumbbell press, let's say you would bring it in at the top. Whereas a lot of chest presses kind of just finish here, and you're getting that sort of extra bit of range and contraction at the top of the movement. I just think it feels ace, real smooth. But yeah, less talking, more training.
I don't watch your moves or priors. I got much to do, I'm biased. Big bosses move in silence, watch it. No need for the liars. I don't watch your moves or priors. I got much to do, I'm biased. Big bosses move in silence. Yeah, me, I'm moving quiet. Ask me, I need me an island. New watches.
Fucking hell. That was failure. I'm trying not to talk too loudly because I can see the volume peaking. But Dean's turned the gym into a nightclub now, so you can't really. If you can hear me, great. If you can't, well then I'm just training and moving my mouth. So I just thought I would throw a rear delt in here, and I do love this Cybex Bravo. So for this, really, we don't want sort of over retraction of the shoulder girdle. We want to keep a soft bend in the elbow and at the height of the shoulder. Not sure if you can see that. I'm an advocate of the slow and controlled movements and not just chucking it back. We're trying to isolate a small muscle group at the end of the day, so like I don't need to go crazy with the weight. So long as I'm coming to a reasonable failure at that rep range.
Yeah, tell a man no trouble. I don't want beef, man. I just want vibes. Big man like me, no need for the telephone hype. I got too much getting online. One rule, then I'm on side. Wrong move, I bet they gon' rise. No need for the telephone hype. Yeah.
So I actually really like a long rope. This is a 1MR one. I just feel I can get a lot more range on it compared to a short rope, which is quite restrictive. So with this, I tend to keep flexed at the hips. So I'm hinging over on the hips, keeping the elbows locked to the side. But you're allowed some movement, like I think sometimes people are a bit more rigid and sort of you have to keep the elbows here, but you can have some movement there, so long as on that pulling bit, you're keeping it isolated to the triceps. Oh, fuck. So, session done. It was a little bit longer than I first expected it to be, but it's just been one of those days. But it was a good session. We didn't PB on everything, but as I said, you can't get that every time. But it's good. I am logging everything at the moment, so I log everything in my app. So just to give you a bit of a insight, this is what I do. Each progression, I'm sort of doing 2 top sets on everything with an upper-lower split at the moment. And the lower, I tend to have one day that's more posterior focused and one day that is more anterior focused. So, but we'll delve deeper into the session breakdown and session structure in other vlogs. But yeah, we would usually follow the weekend session with our usual post-workout sliced. But it's a little bit later in the day now, so we're not going to have a coffee. They're actually closed. but we've come to Waitrose to get some stuff for dinner, some post-workout chicken wraps. Although I have bought one of these because I actually quite fancy a barbell milkshake. They do taste really good. There's only 24 grams of protein in them. I mean, I'm not, you don't have to get your post-workout straight after the session. Usually sort of within an hour or so, I tend to get a decent meal, but often we will get like a, one of these if we're fancying something. And we've got a couple of the Waitrose muffins instead of, as we've not been able to have the sliced. And I quite like the muffins actually. The chocolate ones have like an oozy bit of chocolate in the centre. And then what else do we get? We've got a blueberry
crumble.
Blueberry crumble muffin as well. So we'll give those a whirl. See what they're like. But we will see you in the next vlog sliced, and maybe our new butchers as well, because we're fed up with chicken from the supermarket. We are getting butcher's chicken. Didn't know why we didn't do it earlier really. And then we vac pack everything and then freeze like 5 kilo or so. And then we just pull them out when we need them. We are going off home now. We're going to get some dinner. Yeah, and then we'll see you later. So we just thought we'd give you a bit of a taste test with the muffins because we've not tried the blueberry one before. Here we go. So this is the chocolate muffin. So nice amount of chocolate chips on the top and oozy chocolate centre. But yeah, it's pretty decent for a supermarket muffin. Probably got chocolate all over my beard. It's been a while since I've had one of these, but that is good. Sorry if you can hear mouth sounds in the mic. For a supermarket muffin, I'd probably give that 7 out of 10.
I'd go 8 out of 10.
Would you? I'd say 7 out of 10. I'm quite critical, but that is good. And this is the blueberry crumble, which to be fair looks quite nice. They're quite soft muffins in all fairness. Here it goes. Not bad. I'd say it's a little bit drier than the chocolate one, and I'd probably like to see more of the jam centre because it kind of stops there. But I do like the crumble topping. Sorry about the mouth sounds. I know some people absolutely hate that. Charlie does. Literally turn around and she's like, gonna stab me.
It's true.
What should I give it? It's nice, but after you've had the chocolate, that's probably what it is, because I've literally just had the chocolate and I love those. And they are like top tier for me, as supermarket muffins go. I would give that maybe a 6, and that might be generous. But no, I'd say 6. I'd say it's a good muffin. It's a good all-rounder, but a little bit drier. Welcome back. Good afternoon. It is actually the next day now because it was getting a bit late last night and we needed to do dinner and I didn't want to force the vlog. So I thought I'd come back today and do it in a more chilled environment, one a bit fresher. But yeah, if you've got this far in the vlog, then thank you very much for watching. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I just wanted to pick up the camera and film. So I've not really bothered with changing the settings. It's all kind of on auto. And I think the camera does a very good job on auto as well, actually, I must say. I have got the more sort of professional setup, but the Osmo is brilliant because it is quite small. It will just encourage me to sort of pick it up and go, which is exactly what I need. And usually my OCD is the kind of the dictator in what I will and won't do. So I'm trying to sort of overcome that and just be comfortable with it being not perfect. It's not always perfection in terms of how it looks or sounds. It's more so, I'll be honest, me ruminating about kind of, how I'll be perceived if things don't look right, if I'm, not putting the right information out there. I need to sort of get out my own way. Even when I film things, in the past, I'm sort of watching it over and over to ensure that, I'm coming across how I want to come across. So I'm really trying to sort of challenge myself to just be natural and be myself, which hopefully I've done in this vlog and I'm going to do more of. Also, you'll notice that in my previous vlogs, it was very much kind of bodybuilding orientated. And obviously we're going to have some of that in here, but my speciality, if you like, is focusing on, and you've probably noticed this on my Instagram if you follow my Instagram, my approach is kind of centered around long-term sustainable results, something that you can achieve and then maintain. So rather than the kind of the 10-week cut or the bulk phase or whatever, I'm sort of stepping away from those extremes. I mean, even myself, in my own training, it's very rarely I'll go from one extreme to the other. I tend to either stay in a maintenance, or if I am increasing or decreasing my calories, I'm tweaking it marginally. And I like to keep a sort of a respectable body composition. Some might argue, okay, you're hindering your ability to gain and all that sort of stuff, but that's just my preference. And actually, there's a lot of people that benefit from that and prefer that approach because they haven't got to go to the extremes. You can still have balance. You can still have a bit of what you want at the weekend, and you can still train hard. I think there's this kind of common misconception that just because you're not going all out and giving 100% all the time, that it's subpar. Well, the majority of people, that's just not realistic to sustain that lifestyle. So yeah, hopefully I can put that across on camera as well and give you a bit of an insight into my approach as a coach. So yeah, I'm not going to go on. There's plenty more to cover in other vlogs. In terms of our own goals, we're both obviously getting in shape for our wedding, which is in November, so plenty of time to get things locked in. We will obviously be doing a bit of a cut for that. So hopefully you can follow along that journey, and I'll share with you my approach and what I'm doing with myself as well. Client goals are getting smashed at the moment, so business has been picking up, which is really good. And clients are really doing well. And again, it kind of centered around that approach, actually. There's a few clients at the moment who, we're looking at changes over kind of 6-month period, looking back and thinking, well, they're small incremental changes, but they're sustainable. And those changes that they've made to their lives, they're not drastic, but have really impressive outcomes. If you're interested in that, get in touch and I'd be happy to help. And if you have enjoyed the vlog, then please like and subscribe because it helps the algorithms and hopefully will give this channel some momentum. So take care, guys. See you in the next one.